over and go right here, the middle lane, right? Now, if we wanted to get back on the highway, we would get in the left lane. But for test purposes, the examiner is always going to give you heads up which lane to park into or turn into. And of course, I always want to make sure my trailer is, what's up, trucker? My trailer is always in my lane, because if it's out, you may have some people who are not good people. They may run into you and say, oh, you tried to run into them, or you turned too quick, or whatever the case may be. Also, once again, we don't want to pull past this white line right here, because if we are, guess what? Somebody's riding a bike or whatever, skateboard, they run into your truck. Oh, he pulled off too quick, he tried to hit me, or he bumped me, knowing all the while that that's not the case. So we're going to make a left turn here, and I'm going to turn into which lane? Let's see, which lane should I turn into? We have 3 lanes. There's a hazard right there. I'm going to turn into this lane because I'm not getting on the highway. So I'm going to turn into that left lane. And remember, the examiner will tell you, okay, let's get over to the right one lane. So whenever it's safe to do so, you get over to the right. And look, speed limit again, 50 miles an hour. We're going to do 45. There we go. We see a lot of hazard signs up here, and it looks like most of it is on the right side of the road. So you tell your examiner, Mr. or Mrs. Examiner, is it okay if I get one lane over to the left because there's a hazard up here? And they're going to say yes. Put your turn signal on, go ahead and get over. And if they don't tell you to get back into the right lane, you stay in the lane that you're in. Like I say, the better you follow directions, the more success you'll have. And the safer you'll be, definitely. So we're going to stop at this light. So just remember, look for the signs. The arrows right there. If we were making the left turn, we would be in this lane where this truck is right here, but we're not. We're going to keep straight. Also, look, there's the bridge clearance. We got to call that out, right? Okay. All right. So, recap. Things that we need to talk about when we make or do a road trip. 1, the speed limit. We need to call that out at least once. 2, if we go past any school zone signs, we need to call those out. And then, of course, the bridge clearance, we need to call that out at least once. Next would be the emergency stop. Train tracks are things that we need to call out. Okay. So we've got a hazard. It's not too bad. We can make it without veering over to the left or right. Just going to keep going by. And sometimes, well, remember this, we're never in a rush. We're always creeping along. We never want to catch up to anybody. Sometimes it may take us longer to make turns because we have a longer vehicle. Not only that, it takes us a little while to get up to speed. So we always want to, like I say, timing is everything. So we keep rolling along, and we're still trying to focus on keeping that distance. So if I had to count right now, 1 1,000, 2 1,000, 3 1,000, 4 1,000, 5 1,000. Okay, now I see brake lights, so that's going to be a little different. So we got to slow down a little bit. That will always keep you safe. Once you see those brake lights, okay, let me go ahead and see what's going on in front of me. And I may have to slow down. I may not. So the examiner may have you pull over at some point, and they will probably ask you about the train tracks and emergency stop. They will. But let's say this. So I'm not sure. It depends on the tester or examiner. They may ask you while you're driving. I remember I had that one time. Or they may pull you over, just have you pull over to the side of the road and then you go over it that way. Or as you're going across train tracks. So, just be prepared is what I'm saying. So the first thing I would say on train tracks, I would tell the examiner, as I'm approaching a train track, I'm going to slow down. I'm going to look left and right out of both windows. If a train is coming, I would stop 15 to 50 feet back. But since I'm not hauling any people or hazmat, I don't have to stop. And as I'm going across the tracks, I'm not going to stop until I'm completely across. That's all you need to say about the train tracks. Next, emergency stop. I would say I'm going to turn on my turn signal. Next, I'm going to make sure my tractor and trailer is completely off the road. After that, I'm going to turn on my four-way flashers. After that, I'm going to engage my brakes. And if I'm going to be sitting for over 10 minutes, I would put out my reflective triangles at 10, 100, and then 200 behind the truck. Now, when you answer that question, the examiner doesn't know what you're thinking. So you can say the front of the trailer, but the cones are different in the front. For me, I always say the back. Also, I would tell them for safety, I would get out of my passenger side door. Okay. So we're coming up again on an incline. We don't want to be coming too fast. We want to slow down in plenty of time. For example, if we had a load and we're hauling 60,000 pounds and we're coming up a little too fast, guess what? The service brake may not be enough to slow the vehicle down. So in those situations, if you're driving a stick shift or even an automatic, sometimes you can use the engine brake, just downshift, right? And that's going to help slow the vehicle down even more and faster. Now, we don't want to wait till we get right up on a vehicle, like I said, and slow down, because, if we do that, sometimes guess what will happen? We're hauling 50,000 pounds of whatever it is, the load is going to shift, and we don't want to do that. So we got a left turn right here. So we're going to make sure we make this turn the proper way. But yes, always pay attention to how your truck feels when you're making turns. A little busy out here today. I'm in Houston, Texas. Let's see what we got. Okay. So we're creeping up. Our turn signal on. I'm going to start coming over here and look. I'm going to see where my trailer's at, right? Trailer's good. Straighten it out, and I'm going to keep driving. Remember, we're always keeping our head on a swivel looking for hazards. And we always want to look forward as far as we can see. Examiner is going to tell you to get over to the right lane, you get over one lane. Speed limit here is 45. So we're going to try to do 40. But if we can't, we can't. So right here we have a red light. So we're slowing down all the way back here. We're trying to have a nice, smooth slow down here. So we're not shifting any of our load. And we have plenty of stopping power. All right. As long as there's enough room for a pickup truck just to get through there, because you already know I'm guilty of it too. Before I had a CDL, I would definitely cut off one of these semi trucks, especially my sports car. Oh yeah, Don't let me have a girl in the car. Oh yeah, we're definitely trying to show off a little bit. So let me get one lane over to the right. And we're watching for potholes as well. If we can't avoid a pothole, what do? We slow all the way down, right? And we go over it as slow as possible, as not to shift the load. And sometimes we can't help it. Now, there will be chances, or times that you will hit a curb, but hopefully not during your test. We do not want to hit a curb during the test. That's an automatic fail. So I'm coming up here. Oh, there's the light. Here we go. We didn't go past that line. So now for test purposes, I would wait until the light turned green before I would go. Some schools will, or not schools, but some DPS officers will fail you for turning on a red light, even though you can do that. I don't know why, but. So we got one more turn to make right here. We've made all the other turns. We've called out everything that we needed to call out. We kept the truck nice and centered in the lane. Weren't too close to the curb, weren't too close to the yellow line over here. 2 hands on the wheel. Kept our head on the swivel looking for hazards. So here's the story. Guy was driving, semi truck, dog runs out in front of the truck. He swerves into the next lane. He misses the car, but he hits some kind of pole he hit. I don't know if it was a telephone pole or a tree. Not exactly sure. Police was right there on the spot. Gave him a ticket for, whatever that property damage is, they call it. Destruction of property. He goes back to his job, told him, oh yeah, I almost hit a dog today. They said, what happened? Dog ran out. I swerved. I hit a pole, but there was no damage to the truck. He's thinking he's okay, but he still got a ticket. So the company let him go. So when you see these stray dogs or stray animals, if they run in front of the truck, hey, you just got to hit them. And I hate to say that, but at some point, the dog's going to get hit anyway. So why would you put your CDL in jeopardy? Not only that, why would you turn to avoid the dog and potentially hit another car or injure yourself? So anyway, I hope this video helped you out. If you're a CDL student, Class A, I hope this helped you out. All right.